Good morning, good afternoon, geeks and gamers of all kinds. I am Shill, and I have the wonderful pleasure of being joined with
MikeBundy.
And guys, we are going to talk to you today about some of the cool stuff that we've picked up, some of our Christmas finds, some of our revisits, some of our nostalgic trips that we've been taking, some of the other stuff we picked up around the holiday season in today's episode of What Are You Buying? What Are You Selling? And MikeBundy, I will toss you the ball first. Talk about one of the cool games that you've been playing that you picked up recently.
Well, the biggest and newest game that I've picked up is another port for the Switch, because we might as well just do the whole library at this point.
Hey, I'm comfortable with every game ever being ported to the Switch.
Oh yeah, no, it's not really a dig. It's kind of become a fun thing to be like, oh, they're just porting everything, blah blah. No, that's fine. Whereas, we'll get into that in a little bit. But it is Super Mario Brothers U, or New Super Mario Brothers U, whatever.
Oh yeah, New Super Mario Brothers Land World 3D. 2D U with Luigi and Blue Toad is included as well. That's the whole title, right?
Pretty much.
Did I miss anything?
Well, you missed the inclusion of Toadette and Peachette, whatever.
Yeah.
It's basically the whole reason we have Bowsette, but let's not talk about that. So yeah, this
I'm
game.
Confused by what that is. You've derailed me entirely. I don't know what Bowsette is.
Oh, you lucky human.
Okay. Continue, please.
Yes. Anyway, so this game is your more old school style Mario, where you can have 4 players. So that's probably the coolest aspect. You do have the Luigi version somewhere. I mean, when I turned it on, it just went into the regular game. So I'm not sure if you have to beat the game to get that. That would be kind of weird. But yeah, so this game's still utter chaos. You're always jumping on each other's heads some way or another, even if you don't mean to.
These games to me, like having 4 players on a 2D screen, you're just asking for chaos whenever you're doing something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I would say it's not the best. It's funny, it's kind of comical to play it that way.
Yeah,
but I think it'd be much more doable in a 2-player set down style.
Like one player takes their turn and then the other plays.
No, two people on one screen, I think is doable.
Okay.
So
4 is just too crazy.
Yeah, it's just too chaotic. Because your brain wants to think, well, what's everybody else doing? Another a big thing that's kind of, I don't know, a bad thing, I guess, on this version. I believe it's exclusive to this version. Oh God, I'm not going to be able to remember his name. Nabbit, is that his name?
That's his name, Nabbit. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, what a useless character, and somebody has to play as him if you're playing 4-player.
Really?
Yeah. Or no? Yes, you do. Because you got Mario, Luigi. Or no, maybe somebody can be Toad and Toadette. So
you're right. I was going to say, it sounds silly to lock somebody into a character who can't die.
All right, I guess the complaint is that somebody's locked into Toadette, because I don't know if it's a bad thing to be locked into Toadette, but it sucks for everybody else because Toadette can only pick up the crown. She has a specific power up to her, which turns her
into Peachette.
Yeah, and so basically, if Toadette goes up, hits the POW block, or not the POW block, the regular question mark block, and all the items come out, one for each player. So if you have 4 players, 4 things will come out. And if she gets there first, and she can accidentally take 2 mushrooms and her crown. So like basically she screws 2 people out of their power up and takes her own. And if she takes one of those power ups and tries to save you the crown, you can't, like, Mario, Luigi, and Toad cannot take the crown power up. It'll literally just sit there. So it's kind of it's not good.
Yeah.
I
mean, so aside from that negative aspect, is this game still fun to play, like one player?
Honestly, I haven't done it one player.
You've exclusively multiplayer on this one.
Currently I've played exclusively multiplayer. But I'm sure it's a fun game. In fact, even when I had it on Wii U back in the day, I don't think I ever played it one player. Like, this is not these new quote unquote Mario games have never been ones where I just turn them on and play them myself.
Okay.
Not like a Mario 3, not like a Mario World.
Okay.
But since you brought that up, like, I'm gonna have to, because maybe my experience and I don't know. I don't have a negative outlook really on these games, but they're not to the level of appreciation that I have for, like, early Marios, basically.
Right. Well, there's a difficulty curve too that goes into the earlier Mario. And I feel like the new Mario games with that new title in front of them, my perspective is mostly the ones for the DS and the 3DS. I did play this one a little bit on the Wii U. I did not complete it. It was just one of those games that I just wasn't super interested in. But plus I had 3D World, so like that was where I was. But and we'll talk about that briefly as well. But the thing about these new ones is I felt like the difficulty and the physics of the game just felt like they were a little bit easier than some of those classic Mario games. Of course, replaying 3 and replaying World, you can see that difficulty dip from 3 into World. I think Super Mario World is much, much easier as a game than Super Mario World. Like, I've said this to you 1,000 times over every time we replay World. The cape is just cheating. Yeah. Like, you are basically invincible if you have a power cape in that game. And it's so different from the Tanuki suit because the hitbox on that thing was so small. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. So going up to an enemy with the Tanuki suit and, spinning your tail, I believe that's what you're talking about. Like, it's such a smaller detection box. Like, the cape, you could just stand there and spin.
Yep, nonstop. And like the frequency, you were allowed to do it, infinitely, versus the Tanuki suit had like a half-second cooldown or something, and it was just enough that taking away that half-second cooldown decreases the difficulty of the game slightly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not knocking those games because those are 2 of the greatest games of all time. I'm just saying that, we've seen that slow creep of easier Mario games even back then.
Which, are they easy because we've had so much experience with Mario,
That's true.
Like, I'd like to get, I don't know anybody specifically, but I kind of want to look up a perspective of, like, somebody that first only played these new Super Mario Brothers games.
Yeah.
See if they think they're difficult, and then what they think of older Mario games.
Speaking of perspectives, do you think that the hype on the internet, like the vitriol towards this port was warranted?
I know a lot of YouTubers that I follow. They all picked it up And they all said, is it worth $60? Basically, the consensus is the same as Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. If you played it on Wii U, you got your experience. You don't need to buy it again.
Yeah.
Now with me going into why, well, for one, it came out on my birthday, so I thought it was kind of cool. And two, like I was like, yeah, I'll take another Mario game to play. Like I have no way of ever playing that again unless I buy it on Switch.
You don't own a Wii U, yeah.
So like, and was it worth $60? Maybe not, but it's never going to go down. So if I want the experience,
exactly. You might be able to pick it up on sale in 2 or 3 months for $40 on the eShop, but unless it gets added to like the Nintendo Selects and it takes a significant price dip, this game is going to be $60 for the lifetime of the Switch.
Yeah, and I forgot about those Selects, but I don't think we've seen any Switch game added to that yet.
Not yet, no.
So
that will probably be like a year 3, year 4 for the Switch's lifespan.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I imagine that some of the games that are going to get added to that first are going to be some of these ports.
Yeah, you're probably right on that.
Yeah. So, perspective wise, to me, it looks like I would replay this, especially with my wife, who had never played them. But she's mentioned that she's not big on platformers. She'd rather take an Animal Crossing or a Pokemon and play that versus a platforming game like Mario. Maybe even 3D Mario if we managed to get a port of 3D World or something.
Yeah, that's what I was going to kind of go into was, I think she would really enjoy a port of 3D World because, like, yeah, it's still like it's still 3D platforming and everything, but like, I don't know. That game is 4-player. The amount of fun we used to have on that is beyond. I don't know.
I agree. It's a fantastic Mario game, and I think it deserves more life on the Switch. It's truly out of the Wii U Mario games. It's definitely second on the list. The top being Mario Maker. So
yeah, and really, just thinking off the top of my head, those are the two that still should come.
Yeah, they will, and I think they will. I think, to be honest, I think we're going to get a full remake, like a follow up to Super Mario Maker. I think that's probably one of the reasons it hasn't been ported yet, is because there's going to be server improvements and quality of life improvements across that game, and versus the deluxe treatment with something like Mario U or Super Mario 3D World that will get a little bit of added content from the Switch. Like maybe we'll get in 3D World, maybe we'll get a something that ties to Odyssey a little bit,
Yeah.
So we'll get some additional content there. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut the door on this buy for you, Mike.
Yeah.
And I'll hop into something that I picked up recently. I got a game for my smartphone, actually.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to wrap this into two games because, I'm just going to touch on them briefly. I picked up, there was a sale on the iOS store where they were throwing some really top tier level games with some pretty serious discounts, up to like 75% off some games. And I picked up this game called Goblin Sword. So what it is, it's a 2D platformer adventure game, very Metroidvania style. The buttons are on the screen, so we can have our own discussion about that as well. But man, I picked it up for 99 cents, I think, or $1.99, and I'll have to tell you, man, the depth and complexity to a game that costs $2 on my phone, I'm blown away, right? Like, I understand now why kids sit back and play games on their phones, because they can spend a small amount of money and get something like Goblin Story. I have played 15 levels on the game, and I haven't even left the first world yet. I'm not sure how many there are. I think 4. And I've played 15 levels already, and I haven't even left the first world. Every single level has 2 treasure chests that you can find in it, and they have money or items or something that's related. And all of this money that you can accumulate, you can go back and buy more powerful weapons at the shop. There's 3 different levels of weapons. There's like quick, tiny weapons. You're basically a sword fighter, right? And there's like a quick sword, like a you can continually attack and it's fast, but it's not as powerful. Then you've got the average swords, which is just your medium range, like your medium weapon, where you can swing it and it does a fair amount of damage. Then you've got like broadswords, where your swing is much slower, but your power is much higher. Like you can do a lot more damage with the broadsword and stuff. So and then each of these swords has a power up that you can pick up in the world to do a magic attack, and some of them shoot out like a boomerang, or some of them shoot out like a fireball from the tip of the sword. And I'm surprised. This could be a legitimate platformer on a console. Like if they threw this at the Switch and charged $5 for it there, I would say pick it up, because it would definitely be something worth the money, right? So I'm surprised at the complexity here, and the amount of levels there. And then I also around the same time period, I picked up an endless runner called Alto's Odyssey. Yeah, 99 cents. I got that one for. I think it runs normally at $1.99. It's it's just a basic platformer. You jump over rocks. You collect little what look like coins. They're your currency, and every time you play the game, you get more currency. And it's an endless runner, so it's a little different than Goblin Sword, whereas Goblin Sword has an actual ending to each level. The endless runner does not. You just go until you crash your skateboard or whatever it is. You're on like a snowboard in the desert, so you can call it a skateboard or a snowboard or a sandboard. I don't genuinely know. But
there's those skateboard kind of things that have like the big I don't know what you call it, mudding tires, big digger tires.
Yeah.
There's a Disney movie that never mind. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's all right. So you can do tricks on your board when you jump through the air. And like I said, there's this collectathon element to it. There are levels. Like the levels are tasks basically. Like they're check boxes. Like here's level 17. Grind on a vine and backflip into a rock or something like that, because once you do a backflip, you get a little momentum and you can smash through a rock instead of having to jump over it. But like there are little tasks like that, is like do 3 wall grinds in a run, little menial tasks. The soundtrack to this game is absolutely beautiful, though. Like it's very peaceful, right? It doesn't give you that I want to say anxiety or like anticipation of something bad happening, or something that's a little bit higher paced than like faster paced, like a Mario game or something like this. This game, to me, you can sit down and put headphones in and play it and just zen out.
Yeah,
like it's very the soundtrack to me is very like Minecraft. Minecraft or everything-esque, like it's chill.
Right.
So, for phone games, I'm genuinely surprised at how much I enjoy playing them.
Yeah, I mean, I just real quick, I'll throw this in there since you're talking about phone games, which I had forgotten about this game, but we're going to fly on the cusp of being live. A game I picked up on mobile that I was very intrigued by, because it's one of my favorite series of all time, is there was a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater game on mobile. And I forget the name of it, to be honest. I don't have it on my phone anymore. And we'll get into those reasons here in a second. But so yeah, like when I heard there was a new Tony Hawk game, I was like, yes, because five wasn't that good. Which as good as, or as not good as it was, it still hasn't like dropped to, a couple bucks. Because I want to complete my collection and get it again. But it's still like $20. So for it not being that good and being several years old, it hasn't dropped yet. But anyway, this new Tony Hawk game on the phone, which obviously going into it, I knew, it's going to have.
You were going to have some limitations, right?
Yeah, you're going to have those controls that are on your screen. Like, how's that going to work? And so I went into it with pretty low expectations. And, so I turned it on, and it's very, like, as I said, the controls are on the screen. So, turn left, you click the button, but like, it doesn't respond very well.
Yeah.
Like but it overshoots how far you want to go left, basically.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I know some games you can connect a controller through Bluetooth. Skitter and I and Tiff were playing Minecraft one night. He didn't bring any, he doesn't have it on Switch, and he only brought his Switch that day. He's like, well, I can hop on mobile. I'm like, okay. I mean, I know Minecraft's on mobile, but then he's like, yeah, let me see one of your controllers. And he connected this controller to his phone.
Yes.
So I didn't really know you could do that.
Some games you can. It depends on the game.
I never did find out, but like, if you could connect a controller to this game, it would be totally playable. Because it doesn't look that bad. Like, it looks even a scale above like the PS1 Tony Hawk games. Mm-hmm. Even actually above like Underground, the early PS2 games. Like, I would say it looks better than those. So it's by all means not a bad looking game. So like, if it had better controls, it would be worth it. I guess this is more of a selling. I totally forgot how this whole thing worked. But yeah, this game was not good. So
yeah, switching gears into selling too. I'll stick to the mobile thing because why not just clear this out while we're on it. I am very disappointed in Super Mario Run.
Really?
Like, I'll just get that out there. So I bought this game initially when it came out, and I played it, and I liked it. And I beat all the levels. I beat the whole game. I didn't go back and do all the collectathon stuff and everything like that. But I re-downloaded it when I was getting back into a little bit of mobile gaming. Mm-hmm. And I have another Nintendo title on my list for a mobile game that I'm playing as well. But like, Mario Run cannot grab me. They're still doing events in that game.
Really?
Right? They're still doing daily events in that game. And like the Toad Run thing, they had so much potential to try to do those things on the daily and everything like that. But I am just not interested whatsoever in picking that game up again for whatever reason. Right?
Yeah.
But then Nintendo takes a mobile game like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, and I am playing that thing every single day. It is absolutely crazy. I'm blown away at how drawn in to Animal Crossing Pocket Camp I am. Right? Like, it's keeping me busy with tasks and daily tasks, and just they have login rewards every day to hook you back into it. And it's not like bad rewards, right? Like, if you log in for a week, you get 10 Leaf tickets, which is the in-game currency for the microtransactions. Mm-hmm. Right? So, like, you get 5 of them on day 4 and 5 more on day 7. And those rewards change every single week to different items that help you craft different things. It's absolutely crazy how much they just are so relevant to your gameplay. And then, like, they have these events that take place, like, every 2 weeks they have a new 2-week-long event to just keep you going and keep you playing the game. And, like, it's not a surprise to me that my wife is still playing it, right? Because, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I'm genuinely surprised at how good this is. Now, I am disappointed. I wish I could connect a controller to it and play it that way. Something like a single Joy-Con and just play it with that or something and have the phone in the other hand. But, like, we'll get Animal Crossing down the pipeline.
Yeah, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they say it was spring?
Well, that's the rumor. With Yoshi's Crafted World coming out, I don't see that rumor being true. I would imagine that this is probably a summer title, if not a holiday title.
Okay. I don't.
Which, I mean, at least we know for sure it's coming this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, but then again, Yoshi's Crafted World, we didn't know the date that was coming until, like, last week.
Right.
So that one, they cut you off surprise sometimes with release dates. Because March is not that far away.
Yeah, it's basically, this is the 20th we're recording this, so, yeah, pretty much a month away.
Yeah, so
month and a week.
So I'm selling Mario, Super Mario Run. I was very disappointed in picking that back up again. Mike, are you buying anything else?
Yeah, a game going along, with a game that I picked back up, which I barely played when I first got it anyway. But Spyro the Reignited Trilogy. I don't know what made me turn it on today, but I turned it on and I started, completing more, I guess you call them worlds. There's like the HUD world and, the little doorways that you go through or whatever. So I started completing more of those, got another world or two ahead. And yeah, and I also, I mentioned to you about, I thought of those, jam-packed demo discs, which when the Reignited Trilogy was coming out, I had stated that my only experience was the demos, and
right,
and that was very true. So the demo that I found out, the demo that I played was Year of the Dragon. So basically, I don't know anything about 1 or 2.
Okay.
So what I did today was I turned 3 on and played a little bit of it just because.
Right.
And I got about 5% in. Started collecting eggs, which they actually hatch in that one.
Yeah,
you collect different names, and they're all individually designed. I don't remember if that was how it was in the original.
I think that there was a handful of designs that some of them repeated, but it wasn't like oh yeah, I got this one on the last. Like, I think that the assets were recycled, like, late game. Some of the early game, like, or maybe even color palette swaps. And I know that each one was named specifically. Right. So, like, I know that in their minds they were like, these are all independent of one another.
Right.
So, like, maybe as a kid, I remember some of them repeating or something. But continue with what you were saying.
But yeah, from what I understand, just like the dragons in the first game that you save, they're all individually designed now. So that's pretty cool. Like, it was like,
really neat.
It was like, what's this one going to look like? So it was actually pretty fun. I'm really excited to get back into the third one. I did go back again to the first one because, like, I do want to play through all of them and experience them, chronologically. But yeah, so I mean that's still such a good, buy. It's only $40.
Is it really? I didn't know that. That's a good price point. For 3 games.
3 full games. Like, I'm realizing that, it's not like, oh, you'll have the first game beat in like 3 hours. Like, it's going to take some time.
Right. And if you're going to 100% them, they're going to take a long time too. I spent
that's
a ton of time on the Crash trilogy.
Yeah.
I spent a ton of time on the Crash trilogy.
And I'll tell you what, Spyro, I mean, it gets a little crazy and out of control with, the running mechanic.
Yeah, it always did.
But, like, as far as, controlling Spyro in the normal speed, like, it blows Crash Bandicoot out of the water for me.
Nice.
Like, I don't know. And I've never made it even to the second or third game on Crash, but I don't know.
That's very disappointing because you really missed out on the meat of the series. Like,
I know.
The first one was so bad.
I know.
Like, I came to those games, the remasters, right after I was playing Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the precision platforming to me, I was really in tune with, like, being perfect with my jumps and stuff. So, like, I didn't have too much difficulty with the original Crash Bandicoot. I did have some trouble with 100%ing it because I did 100% it. So I got really frustrated in some parts. However, if I go back and replay the remastered trilogy again, which I probably will at some point, I'm going back to play 2 and 3. 2 specifically, because that 2 is my nostalgia. I loved Crash Bandicoot 2 so much. But 2 and 3 is really, really, really the reason to play the trilogy. So it's you're missing out on that one. I would recommend that you pick that one back up.
Yeah, well, whatever it falls down in price, I'm sure that one will go down. It's not a Mario game.
That's true. It's true. It's an Activision game, and they like selling things. So
right.
So moving on to another game. This one actually wasn't a buy for me. This one was a gift. My brother Luke got me. Well, before I jump into that one, I'm actually going to touch this one briefly because this is going to be something that this was also another gift, so I'm just bringing that up as well. My mom got me Puyo Puyo Tetris for the Switch, and I mostly just wanted to play Tetris with my wife. She really likes Tetris. It's one of her favorite games. And we played the Puyo Puyo and Tetris mix. Man, that was real challenging. Because we played Puyo Puyo with Robotnik's Green Machine, or whatever it was called, right? Robotnik's Mean Bean Green Machine, or whatever the hell that game is.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think I ever played it.
Oh, really? It's on Sonic Mania.
Is it?
Like, yeah, it's inside Sonic Mania. It's
the boss thing.
Yeah, but it's the full game is there too.
Really?
Yeah, like, because it was just a Puyo Puyo game where you mixed it, like, it's that boss fight over and over again is basically all it is, but with difficulty choices. So that full game is inside Sonic Mania, and then they took that and combined it with Tetris, and it switches back and forth, and your blocks switch back and forth, and then the Tetris blocks are heavier than the Puyo, so you can push the Tetris blocks all the way to the bottom, and then the Puyo are, like, they come to the top of them, and it's super complicated and really difficult. But we played the multiplayer for a little while, and they're like, we enjoyed it and we had some fun. And there's a story mode there too. I'm not sure if I'm 100% interested in completing it, but it's something to maybe play some single player on it. I don't know if I ever will. But I got that for Christmas, and my mom got it for me, which, that's one of the games I wanted to bring up whenever I started talking about this one, which is very exciting. My brother picked me up a copy of Cave Story Plus for the Switch.
Right.
Man, what a platformer. I haven't beat it yet, and I feel like I'm pretty far in the game. I feel like the story is coming to its climax, and I'm getting ready to fight the final boss. I could be wrong on this, but I've been to a variety of worlds, so a variety of different levels, and they're all very big. I have to say that, like, the different guns in this game are super neat. You get like 3 or 4 different guns. At least I have 3 or 4 different guns. I might get more. Like I said, I could be misjudging how long this game is, but It's a blast. The platforming is not incredibly difficult, but some of these enemies are real challenging. It's also really neat too, because when you kill an enemy, it drops like experience points, and you can level up your guns, and they become more powerful versions of what they are as you level them up. And if you take damage, your level decreases on the weapons, which I think is an incredibly interesting way to build a platformer.
Yeah.
I've never seen or heard of anything like that, but the story has me hooked a little bit, and I'm really, really enjoying this one. And the music's fantastic. It's got that 8-bitty, cartoony music feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really impressed with this platformer.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, that was a very early Switch game, on the eShop.
Yeah.
So I remember when everybody was talking about it. It was never on sale, so like I didn't pick it up. But if it ever goes on sale, I'd like to pick it up. If
I
the time
think
is
it's
right.
a $30 physical.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a full priced game.
No.
It might be cheaper on digital. It is an old game. It came out in 2004 initially.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
2004, and then the I guess the plus, it has extra content that the original game did not include. So we'll see. We'll see what that is, or maybe I won't know until I look it up after the game or something. From what I understand, there are different endings in it too. So I don't know what I could have done differently while playing it, but I'll find out once I beat it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I am enjoying it a lot, though. So, yeah, Mike, have you picked up anything else recently?
Not game-wise. How many more you got?
I got one more.
All right, well, I'll just go into mine then. You can finish this off. So the other thing I bought, it's more of a, I guess you could say, a system.
Okay, I know what this is.
Yeah. Basically, I bought it for myself for my birthday, because why not? I bought a Raspberry Pi 3.
Okay.
I think it's just
Explain
3.
to anybody who doesn't know what a Raspberry Pi is.
Well, I didn't really know what it was until I think you brought it up, and then I started asking other people, and they're like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, okay. Basically, it's a what do you call it? A computer board.
Yeah, it's just a little miniature computer.
It comes literally. It's just the board.
Yep.
If you buy the bundle, they'll give you like this cool case. You can pick whatever color. I pick the clear, just because it's clear and it reminds me of like early Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, with the cool see-through stuff that they did.
Yeah, so that's why I picked that one. I wish it was purple, but it's not. It's just clear. But basically, you can, after you get it, you put the Retro Pi, what do you call it? Operating system, I guess you could say. You download that onto it. It doesn't come with anything. Like, that's how it's like legal to sell, I guess.
Right.
Actually, it comes with, there's like a computer Linux thing that's already on it. You have to kind of wipe that. But if you want to use it for that reason, you can actually browse the internet when you connect it to the internet.
Yeah.
Like you can watch YouTube on it. Like it's a fully working computer for $60.
Yep.
But obviously, I did it for the Retro Pi, which you can put anything on this. Granted, they want you to put games that you own. I currently have only done games that I have owned. I know that's not the same thing, but whatever.
Right.
But yeah,
You're not condoning hacking or telling people how to do it.
Yeah, we're not, yeah. That's why I said it. I mean, that's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in this world ever does it. I don't like playing I don't like kayfabing people. Like, I don't think anybody does it.
Yep.
So, primarily I wanted this to play PS1 games. Because it's such a hassle for me to take my PS3 out there. That's the only way I really have to play them. Because I found out the PS2 I have, I don't think plays PS1. Like, I think that drive or something is messed up.
Oh.
Yeah. So
maybe the eye's broken. Because
yeah,
they were different.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's some kind of different thing. But so yeah, PS3 is the only way. It's always hooked up back here. It's kind of our Blu-ray player in the bedroom. But anyway, PS1 games work phenomenal. Haven't run into any issues yet. I have my other ROMs on there. My Game Boy Color. Advanced. It does advanced. There's a way to do Dreamcast. I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
Because that'd be kind of cool. I have never played a Dreamcast. I was actually thinking the other day about buying one of those. You can buy them on GameStop's website now, used.
Really?
Yeah, they're like $60 or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That might be a thing I do in the future, but yeah, I love the interface on this thing. Like there's different themes you can download. I don't have to go into how you do it, but it's just cool. Like, they have a SNES Classic one, and then it just has like a picture of each system.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I can't actually wait to show you the whole thing. But
yeah. I'll have to come over and check it out.
But yeah, you can. There's 4 USB ports. You can do any game that's 4-player. One thing I did want to say was the N64 emulation is not good.
Okay.
Mario 64 works good. It actually works better on my SNES Classic.
Do you think it's the RAM?
It might be. I mean, from what I heard, I don't know specifics, but the SNES Classic is literally a RetroPie.
That's what I've heard.
Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. It only comes with 1 gigabyte of RAM here. So you might be able to replace that RAM. I'm not sure where it is on the board, but that's a conversation for another time. But like, maybe if you pumped up your RAM capabilities in it, you might be able to emulate N64 games a little bit better. I think that the N64 had, I doubt it had a gigabyte of RAM in it.
There's some settings. I mean, obviously, I've only had it for about 2 weeks, and I haven't really messed with it as much as I've wanted to. But I know there is a way to. You have to download this thing and put it like on your system. Basically, it makes it run a little better, and then you have to go into settings somewhere, and it's actually the same settings as the thing you do on the SNES Classic. But
okay, all right, cool, yeah. So tech talk and stuff like that. But
yeah,
so you've definitely been enjoying this thing then too, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you want a way to play, well, it was this kit or whatever was 64 or something. Yeah,
just the board itself is 30, because you can take the board and put it into something. It doesn't have to be the
I mean, yeah, you can literally. I don't know. You could. This is actually an option I didn't even think of. Like, you could strip a PS1 or something and just throw it in there.
Yeah, you really could. You could really throw it into anything you wanted to, and that's
as long as you put the USB ports, like on the side. If you just cut out like the holes or whatever,
right?
It wouldn't be that hard.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit more and have some more conversations about it, and we'll figure it all out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's solid. So, in closing, I have one final game that I'd like to talk about. that has definitely been my favorite pickup recently. So I have during that big New Year's sale that Nintendo had on their eShop, I decided that I was going to get something and use up some of my my gold points that I had gotten from Smash Brothers when I got that. Shout out to that game, by the way, because I wasn't on for obvious reasons with the baby and stuff. But like,
yeah,
man, that's so good. But so I accumulated the double points, and then I had some picked up from like Pokemon and a couple other games that I had gotten. So I essentially got this game for free, and it was on sale for $10, and it was an indie title called Hollow Knight. And if you guys know anything about Hollow Knight, you know that it has a reputation of being incredibly difficult. And we actually have a friend that broke his TV by throwing his controller at his TV because he got so frustrated playing this game. So for me, I haven't seen that. Right? Yeah. So I've obviously died a whole bunch and I've lost a lot of money. That was frustrating, right? Because when you die, your spirit leaves your body, and then you can go back to the area that you died at and fight your spirit and get all your stuff back, right? So that's something, and it's a nice little like, oh yeah, you died, you didn't lose all and this and that. But if you die again, then it's completely gone,
right?
Okay.
If you die fighting your spirit, is that what you mean?
No, if you die on your way back to fighting your spirit.
Okay, yeah. Gone. That makes sense too. Yeah.
So, that's happened to me a few times, but for the most part, this platformer adventure Metroidvania style game has been so enjoyable. I am loving playing this. It is artistically beautiful. The soundtrack is fantastic. And it presents enough of a challenge that, I want to keep playing and overcome these challenges. So I've read a bunch on the internet, on forums and stuff, and they say that the difficulty curve really happens around the time of the third boss, right? And I'm past that now. And I learned how to play the game the way the game wants me to play it, or it's not as difficult as people are saying. And right. Coming off the heels of like Celeste and Shovel Knight, which now to go back to Shovel Knight is like a cakewalk. But like, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing an unbeatable challenge in front of me. Now, people have said that some of the optional bosses that you can stumble into are insanely difficult. And I've stumbled into some of these optional bosses and been like, oh yeah, I'm not doing this right now. Like, I'll come back maybe in the end game and beat it. But for the most part, the story is absolutely wonderful. They're telling it in a pace and a pattern that feels like it's gonna keep me in for the long haul. And for a game for $15, man, I can't scream buy this to enough people. Like, yeah, I am so genuinely impressed with it, and I've probably put 10 hours in at least now, maybe even more than that. And it is just so incredibly good. I'm definitely buying into that game.
Yeah, I'd like to try it out eventually. Maybe just play it on yours.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good game I've heard, and we've actually had some pretty good pickups, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we did. We picked up a lot of stuff, man. I told you when we started having this conversation that we could cover a whole hour with the stuff that we picked up.
Yeah. Did we ever?
And did we ever? So that has been What Are You Buying? What Are You Selling? Mike, do you have any closing remarks on anything else you were disappointed in?
I can't think of anything specific. Other than that Tony Hawk game, I really can't think of anything that I've disliked that I've picked up. So
right,
it's been a pretty good last couple of months, really, for pickups.
Yeah, it truly has. So, Mike Bundy, if they want to continue the conversation and ask a question that we didn't talk about on the show, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at MikeBundy316. on Instagram at MikeBundy316 and on YouTube, Geek Tavern Gaming. I almost forgot what that freaking handle was, but there we go. Where can they find you at?
You can follow me at Shill_DS on Twitter. You can also follow me at Shill_DS on Instagram. You can see pictures of my baby if you want to. And I post them on Instagram all the time, as well as some motivational stuff back and forth between there and Twitter. And you can engage with all of us at Geek Tavern and our Geek Tavern community by hopping into our Discord. The link is a permanent link. You can grab it in the show notes and hop into the conversation there.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm going to go and play some more Hollow Knight. And, just close out the weekend on a positive note for me.
Yeah.
Maybe look into this Raspberry Pi a little bit. Like, these things are super sweet.
For sure. I mean, it took a little bit to set it up, but it's well worth it.
Yeah. They're supposed to teach you how to code and all kinds of stuff, and I'll chat with you a little bit more after we're done. But once again, you guys, thank you so much for hitting that download button and listening to us ramble on about the things that we love the most, video games. We want you guys to head on out there and press start to keep on gaming.